Good morning, everybody. It's January 8th, 2013, and we are getting ready to file our case again in the federal courts against the government of the United States. They'll link harassment to JSO's Chief of Police, Sheriff John Rutherford, who has been targeting me through the system since filing a complaint publicly. They did not investigate the claim. Instead, I was targeted and nearly killed, and I'm still receiving death threats from the state. This is through not really the state, but I'm assuming it's just government crimes linked to the Obama administration. What happens is the crime started in Florida, and basically the government backs the government. They don't back the people. So I hate to come online to do this today, but I went online on CNN, and if you, I don't know, they may remove the site, but it's a video called Navy Warns, and there's kind of like a scenario that is similar to the situation that occurred in Florida with the harassment and targeting of me through this system, which included targeting me when I went to the hospital, when I became ill, when I filed complaints to the police department. The police, they threatened to arrest me when I filed complaints against police officers. So since we can't just go out and shoot them and kill their families like they're killing ours just because they wear badges, and they're hiding behind the law, and they are breaking the law, they are criminals behind badges. I'm coming forward because I continue to receive threats, assumed threats. At this point, I mean, I can't really function because of the threats. I can't go shopping. When I go shopping, their presence is there. The police, State Department. I filed a complaint. I have witnesses through the state's attorney's office. Instead of them investigating the complaints, they created a mass frenzy of illegitimate and fraudulent cases against me, of which when I went, they went through the DCF to take my children away for filing complaints. They created all kinds of complaints. So I'm really busy. I try not to put this information online because it's defaming me, and I'll probably go to the Urban League today, and the NAACP. Everybody's got their hands out. So what happens is they're also fearful of being killed. So it's really difficult to get assistance. When things calm down, they come forward. But I'm noticing what happens is when I'm doing well, I begin to flourish. They're basically trying to strong arm me and get me to do business with Florida. I will not do business with Florida until they recognize the issue at hand, which is I'm being sexually abused from the state of Florida employees, physically harassed, emotionally harassed in the past, and there's still been death threats through the system. I have been threatened. My life has been threatened a lot, numerous times, more than I can count. When I go to the doctor, when just certain situations that I had. Now I'm just going to mention the names because I'm really busy and I'm going to get off of here. But the Sheriff John Rutherford, I filed a personal complaint against him. It was closed. I have the information number of the documented complaint online. So if I was killed or something, if they made up a story and said I was doing something, they killed me, which I was almost killed. They raided my home through DCF. They've created all kinds of lies. So at this point, I'm charging them with attempted manslaughter. And that's how far I'm going to have to go with it so that we can show them how serious this is. There's really no safety in America, in the world. The world has gone mad, and America has gone mad. Our leaders and our police chiefs are rapists, killers, murderers, and thieves. And I could care less about hurting someone's feeling. This person should be, not only should he be fired, but he should be arrested and put on trial. Of course, he's not solely responsible. The state and Mayor John Payton are just as responsible for the harassment. The reason the case is festering and growing to an enormous proportion and a sick proportion is that everybody has their hands out. So what happened was, since I was a media company, large media companies such as Comcast and Infinity and Time Warner had their hands out, so they began to back this sick, racist state of Florida with the media. Fox News, Fox, the channel Fox, they have backed the racism, in my opinion, and little innuendos. MSN, they're kind of bipartisan, I guess, I don't know. But for the most part, the state of Florida is backed by racist agendas and greed. And so because I still they went through my relative who works for the state of Florida, and they tried to get me to do what they're basically using her as a stand-in. Her ex worked for the police department presently, and was kind of like, I guess, a mediator, I'm assuming, as well. I have quite a few police officer friends, which is why I believe I made it this far. And so I'm going to alert them today as well. And if anything happens to me, I'm sure they'll handle the situation. It's almost like I'm not advocating vigilantism, but that is exactly what's going on within the police department. They are very, very sick people. They need to review their police officers, but if you have a sick, they know what this man has done, but they're probably afraid. I really believe a lot of them are afraid. And a female police officer came to my home and told me that there's a net, and we kind of know what's going on with that net, and there's an investigation. So this man is sick. He, in my opinion, needs to be removed from capacity of office. Mayor John Payton is no longer there. There's a new mayor, so things I think are leveraging some because he's a minority, and he's I believe he's probably doing the best that he can. And then there's always that method of fear. If you're not you know, if you're like me and you don't have access to immediate protection as far as surveillance and things, there's really not a lot you can do. But when when things get quiet, we kind of let it go. But when it seems like when I'm doing well and my business is beginning to thrive, and I receive offers to do business through a cousin who is an employee of the state, or any employee of the state, and I do not allow the transaction to occur, or if I mention that they are using my image, caricatures of me, my company, and my life through the media, and not going through the proper methods, which would be contacting me or my attorney to have these rights allowed. And when I complain about the theft and the privacy violations from the media organizations and companies, then these are when the media begins. I've received threats from media reporters and things, and they're very subtle. So citizens in the community and worldwide have been following the case, as well as musicians and artists and things, and I just want to thank you all for this. But the death threats have continued, and there's also a very, very sick thing I want to mention. There is a fixation with me. You hear about all the time people being murdered because of a fixation that someone has with them. Because they went through the state and through the system and created all of these massive lies, it's very difficult for me to defend myself, especially when my own has gone against me as well because of envy. I'm basically living a life where I have no rights, but I continue to ignore and just move forward in a positive way. And then people tend to come forward, and when they're more comfortable to speak about issues that are similar in their lives. If they're victims of the state and of the police, if they're a sexual victim, there are a lot of sexual victims of the police within my community, but not to the degree of my sexual harassment from the state. I'm a very, very attractive person, obviously, for them to go to this degree where they actually can't even date. They harassed my husband, now he's my ex-husband, to a point where I just rather let a person go in my life than have this police officer stalk them and harm them. I have no protection against this crazed man, and I'm calling today because I can't take it anymore.